ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the man of the hour. And this is a funny one because, this is a guy that I think was almost on the fence about participating, wasn't sure if he was going to be able to put the necessary pieces in place to even accept an invitation to the second annual Mount Motor Pro Stock Invitational. But he accepts the invitation, comes down, upsets the apple cart, comes out of left field, kicks ass, take names, makes himself a part of drag racing history. Let's give it up for the one and only Matt Giangrande. What's up, buddy?
How you guys doing? Good to see you, Wes and Mike.
What's going on,
Good to
Matt?
see you, buddy, man. Dude, I just want to reminisce real quick. We come a long way from Piedmont on a Thursday night, eh?
You, you are not kidding. I heard you guys talking about the change in schedule Thursday to Saturday, and I think back to again Thursday night at Piedmont and those late night Saturday quick eight races, Mike. We go back with your dad, one of the best of all time, and all those Carolina drag strips. So boy, I'll tell you what, we have come a long way, haven't we?
Yeah, it fits door car racing. That's what I tell all these guys, and I know the big show likes to go on Sunday, but Saturday night door slammer racing is where it's at. So I'm excited to bring that back. And before we get any further, I see Ram clutches on your hat, on your shirt. That's another great sponsor we had at this event, and had Pat Norsha on the grounds also. And I know he was thrilled to see you in the winner's circle.
He was. Mike and Pat at Ram have become they've taken me in like a brother. I've worked with him for quite a few years now, and aside from making great parts, again, I feel like I'm part of the family. We're a small company. I know you've been a long-time Ram user when you guys ran the clutch, so again, just fortunate to be part of that family. And let me say also, unfortunately, I don't have the trophy or the check here like your other guests have had, but I do have my beautiful Monterey watch right here. And I've got a few dollars that Wes kind of handed over to us. I'm trying to get it on camera here. So I'm trying to do what I can.
Those don't spin too well. Those don't spin too well. Unfortunately, I tried.
I was really happy with the watches. Were you surprised? Like I knew that deal was coming together, but I hadn't seen the watch yet until I got to the track because they shipped them directly there. And shout out to Kevin Contardo, a business development guy here at Drag Illustrated, a big part of the Drag Illustrated family. But he told me, "Hey, I'm putting this watch deal together. I think this is going to be pretty legit." I was pretty impressed. I was like, "Oh my God, it's a nice watch."
I forget who presented it to me, but I had no idea. And it's beautiful. I actually called Tim from Monterey yesterday, and he was beside himself that I took the time to give him a call. He said, I made his day. I made his day, wants to do a little post with us and everything. But it's beautiful. If anybody's looking for a watch, you need to check them out for sure.
And it's cool to see like new brands involved in our space. Like I tell folks, one of the missions that we have here is to bring new money and new interest to our sport. Like God bless all that Jegs has done for drag racing. God bless Lucas Oil. God bless, I'm trying to think of these other Summit Racing Equipment sponsors, everything. Like there's all these brands that have been involved with our sport for eons, right? And have sponsored, the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and what's the Jegs All-Stars deal and the Summit Super Series. Like they're iconic brands and God bless them, but we have to get new versions of those brands, new companies to come into our sport and enjoy the magic and the community that exists here, because this is a group of people that move the needle. Like these people spend money, they support the people that support them. I mean, it's a worthwhile endeavor. So, I mean, I'm hopeful that was just getting started with those guys. You know what I mean? Like just getting them involved, but you never know what will come from something like that. It goes from, giving us some watches and being involved from a promotional aspect. Who knows? I mean, maybe we'll see a Monterey timepiece car out here in the not so distant future. You never know.
You don't. You have to certainly, go out there and get, step out on a limb sometimes. And that's something that you guys at Drag Illustrated have done so well. You've kind of gone out of the comfort zone. So you look at the Monterey watch, the Viper chair was beautiful. Adams polishes. It's so funny. I'm a big Adams polisher user anyway. So we've got some new product to use, but just to see some new ways of going out and attracting some new folks. Because as you know, I've been in the automotive aftermarket a long time, and it's, sometimes it can get a little stagnant, so you got to have some fresh ideas, things you're doing with music. I'm in the car coming up to the burnout box. I can't say I've ever heard, listen to AC/DC or something coming up jamming. And, probably why I was getting my foot off the clutch on time, probably for a change,
I hope so, man. I mean, I really hope so. And I appreciate you mentioning that. And I was going to say, what a job you guys did. And I'm not, not that I'm surprised Matt, but I would love to kind of hear your take on just the overall performance. I mean, challenging conditions throughout race day, no doubt about it. In E1, you go up with one of the best to ever do it, Elijah Morton. You go 0-14 on the tree, 4-14, probably one of the most pressure-packed rounds of your career. First round, first time on the track that day. You come back up in round 2, go 4-16 against Bo Butner, a former NHRA Pro Stock World Champion, a great drag racer and a great human being. Then you come back up in the semifinals, go head-to-head with Texas's own Rick Cowger, 4-15 with a 0. And then in the final, this was the one, man. Johnny Placino and you strap one on him on the starting line, 0-25 to his 0-45, and go 4-10 with an 8 to his 4-13. I mean, I just got to ask,
yeah,
man.
that 4-10 with an 8, that was low for eliminations. Johnny had gone 4-10 with a 9 in the semis. So, I mean, yeah.
I mean, holy moly, man. Take us through this hot rod and the approach you guys had going into the final. Cause like, Mountain Motor Pro Stock's near and dear to my heart. It's the class that my dad is passionate about and races in. And I've been around it a long time and know a lot of these guys, but seeing someone step up that significantly from one round to the next, I mean, obviously with the conditions were coming around, but holy moly, man. I mean, did you expect it to run a 410?
No, actually we didn't. We just took I'm a pretty conservative racer by nature. So I don't ever want to beat myself. So I want to make the other guy, the guy or girl in the other lane beat us. So, we go out there in the first round and just kind of get down. Me and Elijah have had some epic battles throughout the years. And so we just go out there and get a baseline. Luckily, we were able to turn the wind light on, and then we're just on from there. Certainly drawing Bo in the second round was exciting. I think we went out to eat on Friday night or something, and I told Jennifer, my wife, who I couldn't do this without, and I told Tim, I said, you know what, I would love to get Bo at some point in time. Just because if you want to be considered one of the best, you need to race the best. So lo and behold, I got what I wished for. So we were able to get the win by him, get by him, and then just kept plugging away. And to answer your question, Wes, regarding the final. After that 15, I'm looking here now. I guess we went 15 or I think we went 15 in the round prior. So we knew the conditions were coming to us, weather and track, and we didn't do anything, silly. We just probably made a little bit bigger move than we would have, but not anything that was going to get us in trouble. So when we saw the 10 come up, I didn't even know it was low of eliminations till we were on the ride home, to be honest with you. So I was just looking for that flashing light on the scoreboard, and I was screaming. I'm surprised everybody didn't hear me screaming in the car. Everybody thinks that the racer gets all the accolades, and I guess sometimes that's a true statement. But I really was thinking about what was going on back on the starting line. And just thinking about my wife and Tim and Wayne and Joe and all the hard work they put in, and to see the live feed, go back and watch it. Boy, like I said, and I think we sent something out on social media before. That'll be something I remember as long as I live. Just seeing them get excited was more exciting than me seeing the win light come on, honestly. So it was fantastic. What a great weekend. Again, still on cloud nine. Still can't believe that we've got the trophy. We've got we're going to be a World Series of Pro Mod Mountain Motor Pro Stock Invitational winner forever, champion forever. So that's
no
awesome.
one can take it from you, man. And your wife, your whole group was they were wound up. They were fired up. They were about as fired up as I was, and it's just to see such great drag racing. And like, for me, I'm just so proud to be part of making sure that guys like you have those moments, because I know how hard this stuff is. I know how challenging it is. I know how expensive it is. I know the sacrifices that are required. I've experienced them. I've been a part of them. I've had drag racing impact my life in a multitude of different ways. And it's like, you guys need to have as many moments like that as humanly possible. Like, as many moments like that as we can give you, we need to give you. And that's what we want. Like I tell people all the time with events, nobody remembers what happens. They remember how they felt. And you have to go in to every one of these things keeping that in mind, right? And like, we're gonna fail and whatnot, and we're gonna mess up and whatnot, but if that's the goal, is trying to make lasting memories, I mean, that's what's gonna have you fired back up for 2025, right? Like, you're gonna be remembering the memory, right? It's not gonna be that you remember all the nuances of the race, but you're gonna remember how you felt in the winner's circle that night, and you want to experience that again and again and again and again. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm really proud of you guys. And you mentioned Pat Norsha, you're rocking all that. It's so cool to see, knowing how long Pat and Ram clutches have been like somewhat symbiotic with door slammer racing. Like if you look at any of those old like 80s and 90s pro mod photos, late 80s, early 90s pro mod photos, Pat Norsha's in like all of them. You know what I mean? And like, it's really cool to have seen him on the starting line. There's a bunch of guys that I had that kind of experience with, looking around, seeing Clayton Murphy. You know, I've seen him on the starting line of a gazillion different other drag races, but to have him on the starting line at mine was a pretty humbling moment, man. And thinking back to watching you race that blue Corvette, you know what I mean? Like in Big Dog, going, I was so excited for you when you started racing back, you know, just racing again. And then you getting involved with the industry and doing all these different things in our sport and in the aftermarket industry. It's been great to see you get back behind the wheel. One of the questions I've kind of asked throughout the course of the day is the World Series of Pro Mod. What we like about it is that it's kind of a jumping off point for the drag racing season as a whole. So what does 2024 look like for you, Matt?
Well, believe it or not, Wes, we're still not exactly sure right now. We're a small budget team, but certainly winning this race is, maybe going to make it a little bit easier for Enoch, the car owner, to decide what we're going to do. I think right now we're probably going to go to Galat and go to Virginia, the first two PDRA races, see how we do. And then, as a lot of people know, there's another opportunity, elsewhere that we might dabble in. But, because of the size of our team, from a budget standpoint and really just everybody that works for a living, it's hard to get away and do that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. The 8 Mile stuff, the PDRA stuff is convenient. They provide us a great platform to run at. So, and the 8 Mile stuff is a blast. We love that stuff. So, I think the next time you'll see us is certainly Galat. I mean, how can you not go after winning the World Series of Pro Mod now? So, and something I want to touch on quickly, me and Derek Ward must have something a little in common. You talked about his car being the old Stawicki car from 2005. Well, even though we got that new 19 body on that Camaro, that's a 2002 Cavalier underneath that. So we've got that's a pretty old piece, but obviously she's still got something left in her, and hopefully we get a little bit more out of her. So evidently those old cars still run pretty darn good.
It's incredible to me. And I'm just curious, like, tell me about like what your thoughts are on like the state of the union of mountain motor pro stock racing. Cause this is a class that not too terribly long ago kind of felt like it was on life support. And here we are now where there's a lot of these cars in the country. There are new ones seemingly coming. I mean, I was really impressed with Darrell Stewart and how they ran. I mean, a new team, new engine, like that's a cool thing to see. The Bo Butner and Randy Lynn Butner driving the cars for Erica or Elite Motorsports and JHG. Like, are you feeling like a high tide? Like, is this thing turning around? Like, what do you think? What's the future look like? You mentioned multiple places to race, opportunity to go run some quarter mile stuff, opportunity to go chase points in PDRA. I mean, what's your take on the lay of the land right now?
Well, we could have a whole show on that topic alone, so I'll try and make it brief. But I think we're in a great spot. I think if handled correctly, both places. Sometimes too many options is not good.
Agreed.
But I think both places offer enough nuances of their own. Obviously, the biggest being 8 Mile versus quarter mile. That hopefully there is enough to support both. So, but you can look at the new cars that are being built, some of the new teams coming in, some of the opportunities that Richard's working really hard on the other side, which. I've got to give him a lot of credit for trying to get us over there on that stage. So I think we're in a great place. Again, if you go back 4 or 5 years, that's when I was kind of coming back to pro stock. I got a little bit involved to try and almost protect my investment that I was buying. And that's really where it started. And I feel like that we've never looked back. I think it's just every year has gotten a little bit better. We've got great sponsors on the PDRA side with AED carburetors and Liberty gears. And of course, we always trying to look for new partners. But I think right now, it's as healthy as it's been in quite some time.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm happy for it because thinking about a place where a guy can go with a car that's got some laps on it, you know what I mean, that's been around for a while, and go race heads up, go run a class that has the words pro stock in it, and do it And like I said, I mean, we always hear about it each week. If I say something's affordable, I mean, I wouldn't say that anything in drag racing is affordable. I mean, having a bracket card can be pretty challenging for the average guy or gal, but it does seem like Mountain Motor Pro Stock is as attainable as it gets in high end drag racing. Like if you want to go run heads up and race as part of a big show and really good competition and really fast cars that are hard to handle and a blast to drive, Mountain Motor Pro Stocks got you. You've got a spot.
Oh, there's no doubt. It certainly takes a lot of work. All these cars take a lot of work, whether you're running Pro Mod or some of the faster top sportsman cars. But the Pro Stock, being that we got a clutch and a Lenko, and obviously there's a lot of motor maintenance. So it's not for the faint of heart, let's say. So it takes a gaggle of people. That's why I'm fortunate enough to be able to drive the thing. But again, without everybody on the team, and of course Enoch and Show Love, giving us a chance to drive it. I mean, it really takes. It's such a cliche. It takes a gaggle, a group of people to make it all happen. And you really have to be diverse. You can't all do the same thing well. You have to be able to do your own little thing well. And that's, I think, what we do good. I think we finally showed that. I've always thought how difficult it really is to put 4 runs together on race day. You might get a win here or a win there, but unfortunately, drag racing is a lot more losing than winning. So I like the percentages, though. You have that 50% chance every time you line up on the starting line. So I'll take those odds any day of the week. But there's a lot more losing than winning. So when you finally do it, we're gonna ride this as long as we can. The phone hasn't stopped ringing, the texts haven't stopped coming in. So it's been very very exciting. It reminds you why you do this kind of stuff.
I couldn't be happier to hear that, Matt. And seriously, man, so happy for you. Congratulations, dude. And you're 100% right. I remind folks all the time that, like, in drag racing, no matter how successful you are, you're going to lose a lot more than you win. And you're right. I mean, it's hard to win 4 games of tic-tac-toe in a row, let alone 4 passes down the drag strip in a big power car with a clutch and all these variables and changing conditions and the sun coming and going and where you're at in the run order. I mean, it's an impossible endeavor on so many levels. And to see people like yourself and those that surround you make it look so easy, it's an incredible thing, man. Matt, congratulations. Thank you for everything. And I can't wait to see you at PDRA Galot, buddy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. And like I said, we're going to enjoy this as long as we can.
Let's do it. We'll do it together. I'm going to start partying now.
All right, let's do it.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, Matt. Talk soon, bro.
All right. Thank you, Wes.